And by the way, we had a response to last week's
we should
podcast.
do that.
Do you want to do that now, or you want
why
to
don't
do
you
it?
go ahead, and then we'll get to our main topic. Yeah.
Okay, because so we got a response. Last week's was talking about the man problem in the United States and talking about what masculinity is and should not be. And we had a response. Let me get it up here. And so here it is. It said, listen to your DMZ broadcast today. I'm 74. My husband died 20 years ago from toxic masculinity, among other issues. We both worked, both had degrees. We always had plenty to eat, etc. My husband never achieved the financial success he thought he deserved because he always worked so hard. He saw others doing well with seemingly far less effort. Ultimately, he died by suicide, thinking he was a failure and his family would be better off without him. Many men measure success in dollars rather than raising healthy, successful children and taking time to enjoy life. That kind of confirmed what our basic tenet certainly at the end of our discussion, Ted, was that, there's a medium that I feel, Ted feels, that there is something intrinsic in men about A, wanting to be providers, B, wanting to be protectors. Now, that's not every man. As we know, a large percentage of our species does not abide by those stereotypes. But for the most part...
We're looking at you, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, that's the most nurturing. But you can also be empathetic and nurturing as a man. And there are pressures that are put on you to provide. And some men, and unfortunately it sounds like that was the instance here, view that as what defines them. Mm-hmm. And, again, you have to have a society that in a healthy way defines what your role is. Now, for decades, the role of the male was to be the sullen, distant dad after dinner, had a drink, a couple of drinks, 3 or 4 drinks, smoked. Sometimes came home, sometimes didn't. That was wrong. And it was toxic to the family. But by turns to say that, toxic masculinity is in applying it so broadly, but also applying it in a way that is negative. And I compared it last week to when Rush Limbaugh came up with feminazi. It's dismissive, it's disparaging, it's meant to be. I don't know that anyone has ever used toxic masculinity or white male in a positive way for 20 years, Ted?
Well, yeah, I was going to say toxic masculinity. Again, I want to remind you, this term was supposed to be for us, and now it's being used against us. So toxic masculinity was basically a psychological term that was meant to explain the way that boys and then men are told that they're not allowed to be emotional. Boys don't cry, like the Cure song. Don't wear it like my father told me when I was a little kid. Don't wear your heart on your sleeves. That's toxic masculinity. It's literally masculinity perverted into something cruel and hard and emotionless and like quash your feelings and don't and the victims of toxic masculinity, as it was originally conceived, were men. And then what's happened now is, language changes, but the meaning has completely switched here. Now toxic masculinity has nothing to do with men as victims. It has to do with what men do because masculinity is inherently toxic. So as men go out into the world and interact with each other and with, more importantly, with women, they're toxic influences. That's what it is. It's just so perfect, really.